I just was thinking, imagine not liking a nigga, and then every time you see him or picture him on Instagram or anything, every time you see this nigga, you gotta think about, damn, this really stuck his dick in my sister.
How's it going, fam? Welcome back. Today, we're exploring one of the riskiest feuds in hip-hop right now, NBA YoungBoy versus Fredo Bang. This whole drama might have just been reignited, and things are looking intense. We are looking at a rivalry that transitioned from settled to restarted in the most insulting manner possible. Now, the threat of violence is returning to the streets of Baton Rouge. Before we dive into this serious topic, make sure you hit that subscribe button and toggle notifications, as this situation is moving quickly and you won't want to miss a beat. Also, smash that like button if you're ready for an authentic breakdown of street dynamics. Let's look back at the start, because this conflict didn't begin as a war. NBA YoungBoy and Fredo Bang were actually friends once. Very close friends. We are talking about two young guys from Baton Rouge who grew up in the same neighborhoods, represented the same group, and supported each other during hard times. Both YoungBoy and Fredo were members of TBG, Top Boy Gorillas, which stood as a highly regarded crew in South Baton Rouge. This wasn't just a casual connection. These guys were truly in the struggle together, and you can see them together in old music videos looking like biological brothers. The clearest example is the iPhone 6 video where a young NBA YoungBoy is visible right alongside Fredo Bang and the rest of the TBG bros. They seemed happy, they seemed united, and nobody could have guessed these same individuals would become bitter rivals attempting to take each other out. YoungBoy was the junior member, and he respected the older guys like they were his own mentors. Fredo was an older figure who gave him guidance and helped him survive the streets. But as we know, street life has a way of turning brothers into rivals very quickly. Now, to grasp how this feud truly began, we must discuss G-Money. G-Money was essentially the leader of TBG, the star artist, the one getting the fame, and the one destined to bring Baton Rouge to the top. He was older than YoungBoy and Fredo, carrying the veteran status that came with experience. G-Money mentored YoungBoy when he was only a teenager. He brought him into the TBG circle, helped him record music, and acted as a big brother figure. YoungBoy even put out his tape Life Before Fame while under the TBG umbrella, but it didn't blow up as they had hoped. This is where the tension started. While YoungBoy was fighting for visibility, G-Money became the label's primary focus. YoungBoy felt overlooked, as if his skills weren't being valued. That is when the bitterness began to grow. However, the true breaking point happened when G-Money did something YoungBoy couldn't look past. On the song Pour One, YoungBoy explained what caused their split. "Remember smoking with your younger brother? Actually, I used to view you as my elder brother. Then he acted foul and got involved with my sister, then bragged about it to everyone on Instagram." Yes, you heard correctly. G-Money reportedly slept with YoungBoy's sister and then mocked him about it publicly on the internet.
He mad about his sister too, though.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had f***ed her a long time ago. Yeah, he mad about that. He wasn't really tripping on it back then, though, you know what I'm saying? He be calling me big brother and shit, you hear me? I guess he just let that fame and shit get to his head. Now he feel like he just this new nigga, whoever he supposed to be, whoever he called himself.
That is the kind of betrayal that transforms family into rivals instantly. G-Money later confirmed in interviews that it happened, but claimed it was old news, and YoungBoy wasn't bothered at first. But once YoungBoy found success, the disrespect was impossible to ignore. After that incident, YoungBoy decided to exit TBG and focus on turning NBA into his personal brand. This didn't sit well with TBG because YoungBoy was getting famous and they viewed him as disloyal after their support. The situation worsened when YoungBoy's cousin Boozilla was killed. Boozilla was linked to BBG, Bottom Boy Gorillas, who were rivals of TBG. Following his death, YoungBoy sought retaliation, which led to his jail time on attempted murder counts. Street rumors claimed TBG members were behind Boozilla's murder, which added more gasoline to the fire. While YoungBoy was locked away fighting his case, the tension kept rising. G-Money and TBG continued mentioning him in songs. When YoungBoy was released, he returned with even more intensity. Then in September 2017, the game changed. G-Money was fatally shot in a studio parking lot. He was meant to meet Fredo Bang, who was leaving prison that day, but he never arrived. The timing looked fishy, and people immediately started blaming the NBA side. Fredo's ascent made the rivalry more intense. This is where Fredo Bang truly becomes YoungBoy's primary rival. When G-Money passed, Fredo became the face of TBG and the leader for his fallen friend. He felt it was his duty to seek justice and keep G-Money's name alive. Fredo was incarcerated during most of the tension between YoungBoy and G-Money. When he got out and learned his friend was gone, he was ready for conflict. Authorities actually kept him behind bars for extra months after G-Money's passing because they feared he would retaliate or get killed himself. When Fredo finally returned home, he and Boulevard Quick aimed to dominate rap and get payback. They began releasing diss songs targeting YoungBoy and the NBA side. The feud simply kept spiraling further out of control.
Bum, you ass nigga, go dig all 3 of your brothers up with your scary ass. You a stop running from me. I ain't in no competition with you. Stop writing me. You a hoe.
Man, somebody go help little brother out, bro. He angry, dog. He angry. Talking about dead partners and shit. It ain't like I'm on this bitch talking about fat boy and that extra large coffin he got. It ain't my fault all your in my DM. We shared 2 hoes, now all of a sudden I'm just everything. You fucking stop playing.
Violence grew when YoungBoy's manager Dump was killed outside his residence. Then Boulevard Quick was murdered outside his apartment. Lives were being lost frequently, and the city of Baton Rouge was caught inside this lethal conflict. Skip to December 2023, and something shocking occurred. After years of a deadly war that took many lives, YoungBoy and Fredo actually spoke on the phone and settled things. This wasn't a public stunt. It was a private talk between 2 men who saw the beef had gone too far. In post-call interviews, Fredo detailed what happened. It was mostly just us talking. And like I said, it was never a real issue. Social media exaggerates things. I might mention something in a song, he might mention something, and as creators, we might challenge each other. But it was more about us proving there was never a problem originally.
Did the 2 of you get on the phone together?
We talk.
How did that talk go?
Basically, us talking, and like I say, it's never been a problem. I might say something in my song, he might say something in his song, but it was more so of us, how can we show that it's never been a problem from the start? We just don't talk to each other, and you know what I'm saying, we got history, we don't talk to each other, but it's never been a problem. When they did the posters, that's what they kept saying, and I'm like, bruh, y'all making it not about the kids and toy drive. It ain't about us. You feel me? It's about the kids and the toy drive.
The talk led to them organizing a joint toy drive for Baton Rouge kids. They wanted to prove to the city that the war was over and they could collaborate for good. Fredo noted that it wasn't ever really a beef to start with. Just 2 rappers caught in street politics and online drama. The toy drive was planned, but local police canceled it due to safety concerns. Still, the willingness to work together felt like a sign that the violent chapter was finally over. But here's where everything collapsed again. While YoungBoy was on his latest tour, he began mocking Fredo Bang during his sets. This caught everyone by surprise, because they had just settled things and were supposed to be cool. At various tour locations, YoungBoy performed tracks containing insults toward Fredo, emphasizing lines that were clearly aimed at him. The audience reacted wildly every time, and clips of these shows went viral instantly. Fredo saw the footage and felt totally betrayed here. He believed they had moved on, yet YoungBoy was mocking him before thousands of people nightly. That is the kind of public shaming that restarts a war quickly. In a fresh interview, Fredo discussed the matter. "Hey, just letting you know, you hear me. I love seeing the city and state unite. You feel me? It was great. Even if most of what they sang was insulting me. You hear me? But it was honestly great. But you must know I'm on some real street business and I'm about to snap." That final line, "about to trip out," is slang for going on the offensive. Fredo was signaling that he wouldn't just take the disrespect quietly. But it got worse when YoungBoy's followers started harassing Fredo in person. A viral clip shows a YoungBoy fan approaching Fredo while playing YoungBoy's music loudly and filming Fredo's face. The fan was basically doing a musical drive-by, using YoungBoy's tracks to provoke a reaction from Fredo.
Yeah, I just pulled up in that motherfucking dumb.
In that clip, the fan says, "I just pulled up in that dump while playing YoungBoy." Now, most people would have reacted violently, but Fredo stayed calm. He held his ground and didn't let the fan win, but you could see he was angry about it. The footage went viral, and millions watched at Fredo's expense. This kind of public embarrassment is exactly what turns a settled beef back into a fatal one. When followers get involved and make it personal, it stops being about music. It becomes about street respect and status. Fredo's response song,
Or picturing him on Instagram or anything, every time you see this, you gotta think about, damn, this really stuck his dick in my.
After enduring the tour insults and fan harassment, Fredo finally reached his limit. He released a response song that essentially declared war on YoungBoy and his team. In the track, he targeted YoungBoy directly with some of the most cutting lyrics heard in this rivalry. Key parts of Fredo's response included jabs at YoungBoy's court cases, his women, and his street rep. Fredo highlighted that he felt backstabbed by YoungBoy's behavior after they supposedly made peace. The track also mentioned YoungBoy's deceased friends and hinted that more violence could follow if the insults didn't stop. That is the kind of language police watch closely, given the violent history between these groups. What makes this so risky is that both sides have shown they will kill over this grudge. We are discussing a war that has already taken many lives, including G-Money, Boulevard Quick, and other associates. The fact they briefly settled it proves they can be adult about it. But YoungBoy's choice to mock Fredo on tour, the fan trolling, and Fredo's reply has reignited the fire. Now we are back at the start, but both stars have more to lose. YoungBoy is facing federal charges and cannot risk more violence linked to him. Fredo has built a solid career and brand he doesn't want to lose over a grudge. But the streets ignore careers and court dates. When disrespect hits a limit, people feel forced to act, and that is when lives are lost. A major danger here is fan involvement. YoungBoy's followers are famously intense and often cross the line. The fact they are now confronting Fredo physically and filming it is pushing this beyond music. When fans enter street wars, it becomes chaotic. These aren't street figures who know the rules. These are common people who think it's a game until a tragedy occurs. Fredo mentioned this recently, noting how difficult it is to fight YoungBoy because of his intense fan base. I hope nobody is like me, because what I face, man, I'm fighting one of the world's biggest stars. That's hard. You feel me? Especially with those fans. So, I wouldn't wish my situation on anyone. Currently, the tension is peaking. Fredo has stated he won't tolerate more insults, and YoungBoy seems focused on provoking him. With both sides having muscle and a violent past, this could turn fatal again instantly. The tragedy is they proved they could be mature. The call and the toy drive showed they knew the beef hurt their people. But pride and ego often beat logic, especially with millions watching. This situation shows how fast things go from peace to war in rap. NBA YoungBoy and Fredo Bang could have been community leaders. Instead, they are back at square one, and more lives might be lost for pride. What do you think? Can they fix this again? Or is it over? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe for updates on this story. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, the smartest move is often walking away.